civilian hostages from the district of Telemark to be shot in reprisal.
Again, I hope that does address that well. And with that, we are on and into the next one.
Also, by the way, I will admit, I forgot to grab the live chat question for Sniper's super chat earlier. So we're going to
decide what kind of government they want and what leader they... It's a 1.5 star! My mother is let's see. I don't understand how that comes into filing a tax form. Like, really. Let's see. We need to talk to an agent. We need to talk to an agent. Okay. Let's see.
They are hard to get on the phone. I will admit.
Yeah,
very hard to get on the phone. But it's not Ogden's fault though. It's just the whole system.
Also, I like this one person. They were just honest. They put a 1-star and said, "I don't like paying taxes." Me too, buddy. Me too. But it's a civic duty, so it's also the law, so you have to do it. But that's crazy. I never knew that, Matthew. The literal IRS headquarters is literally just across the street. How did I not notice that? Like, I feel like I've noticed that at some point and just relearned that right now. There's the front runner. Huh. It's, wow, this place looks a lot different now because... Oh, there's that little rail car thing right there. Well, how the hell did I never notice the IRS? Huh, well, you really can't see it from here, I guess. So that's why I guess I never noticed that. But that's wild. That's crazy. It's right freaking there. I've walked by that thing maybe 8 times at this point. I never knew that all my returns are literally being mailed there. Weird. And also, it's really small to think that that's handling, basically everyone's federal income returns in the country.
Yeah, that is.
That's weird. I wonder how they handle it. Anyways, with that, it is time for us to move on and into the next one. But a big thanks to you so much once again for support and helping this channel to keep on running.
Indeed, and we also have another 10 from Game Theory who said, charge and hire security. You need to do a fan meetup, and the event will pay for security. Unfortunately, security, you can have security and something bad can still happen. Unfortunately, America saw that not too long ago. Actually, unfortunately, here in Utah, which is where that bad event happened. So, you know, the security can't stop a determined lunatic. That's the thing. Like, if somebody is really determined, you really can't stop somebody like that. You just gotta kind of, be very cautious about, what you're exposing yourself to, basically. So, I don't know, when we run across a fan by random chance, like today, that's perfectly fine, because obviously we weren't announcing that we were going to be there, so it wasn't like somebody with nefarious intent could show up. But if you go and announce an event, you're giving somebody a lot of notice that you're going to be somewhere, and that's when things can get ugly, at least in my opinion. But Enforcer, what say you?
Yeah, and it doesn't, it's not just the risk of having someone try and shoot us, which is one of our primary concerns, because there are a lot of nuts out there, and I mean there's a lot of extreme hard right people who think that we're hard left and want to hurt us because of that, and there's a lot of people on the extreme left who think that we're hard right and want to hurt us over that. So, we got the political nuts from both ends that have threatened us over the years. And then we also have a whole bunch of other people like the Hot Dog Man lunatics, which still hate watch, even though that guy's basically quit YouTube at this point. And we've got and then also there's a whole bunch of other groups as well that just hate our guts and stuff. And it's not necessarily about getting shot, it's just about, if someone comes up in my face and starts screaming at me with a phone out, I'm going to tell you all that's not going to go well. And, in all those sorts of things right there would start to really become issues and risks, because we would probably, due to the threat of, assassination, we probably have to get armed security, which would be incredibly expensive because they have to have special sorts of certifications, waivers, and whatnot. Those sorts of security are very expensive because it's hard to get those certifications and waivers and all that. And then that would be quite expensive. And then we would also have to have some sort of pre-screening and all that. And it's a whole lot to do, unfortunately, just to try and avoid, the few nut jobs that would probably come running out of the woodwork to ruin a really cool event for thousands of people. So, that's a tough one. I would love to do it, because I'm a big people person. I like to meet people and say hello to them and stuff and chit-chat. And a lot of people who have been able to run into me are always like, hey, it was really cool to meet them and everything. And it was a really neat honor and, all that. And I like to meet people and talk to them, especially folks that enjoy the channel. It's just that it would be really hard to logistically do that, sadly, because of few people with bad intentions that would try and ruin the whole thing in some way, shape, or form. So I do thank you so much for support. And if you ever run up into us in person by accident, don't feel afraid, folks, to ever walk up and be like, "Oh my God, it's the Enforcer." We're probably more honored to meet you than you are to meet us. Like we're just incredibly happy to know that people enjoy the channel and want to let us know. So never feel like concerned that if you approach us, I'm gonna be like, look at you! Like I'm never gonna do that. I'm like, oh, hello, nice to meet you. But yeah, I don't think we'll ever.
Just the only request that I will say is if someone does recognize us in public, just don't run up really fast and then also reach into your pocket and pull your phone out and then point it at us. Like, please don't do that because you'll just give me a heart attack.
If you want to side-eye us, though, for 30 seconds or so, that's totally fine. Everybody does that because everybody has to make sure that we're us before they talk to us because they're like, it's not really them. Because nobody wants to come off as crazy. It's like, hey, you're the Enforcer, and then they're like, who are you? Like, you know, that would be kind of awkward. So if you have to take a minute to, like, figure out whether it's us or not, that's totally fine. And, you know, and approaching us is totally fine, too, because I'm always very happy and elated to meet any fans. So with that, I hope that this addressed that well. Big thanks to your support, helping this channel to keep on running. And with that, we are on to the next one.
Also have a 10 from Music Uploader, who said, LSA, and every single global shift in destabilization has come from USSR Russia in the last 70 years. And if it wasn't for the superior general, he said, I mean the communists, then none of this world would be going on.
And I thank you so much for the support, and that's a very interesting outlook, Music Uploader, and I'll have to look into that and research that a little bit. But a huge thanks to you so much once again. I hope that does address that well. And with that, it is time for us to move on and into the next one. Also, I see some people in the chat before we move on. They're talking about which group is more violent. Is it the hard right or the hard?
Address that.
Oh, I'm going to address it. This is a fairly neutral statement. It's both, actually, because I think that over the span of time that we've been running this channel, we've gotten, in terms of like the period of time that the threats come in on, we've gotten the same amount of threats from people on the hard right as we have people on the hard left. Might not believe it for some people, because some people, depending on the political climate, like if a Democrat's the president, then they want to say we're a Republican, and if a Republican's in charge, then people want to say we're a Democrat, because we don't pick a side and we criticize everyone. But we have gotten enough death threats over the years from everyone over everything. We've been told that we're George Soros funded, lizard people, and we must die, and then we've been told that we're, you know, hard right, MAGA Nazi people, and we must die, or something, you know, which I don't even know where people make these claims from. And now recently we've been, you know, whatever it is, like the TDS, snowflakes, and whatever, we must die, and the threats come in all the time, and it's like, these people don't even know what we are, they just know that we don't agree 100% with whatever cult worship they're involved in, so we're some sort of an enemy that must die. That's basically where the threats all originate from, is that kind of mindset. And the honest answer is both. So if you're ever trying to say, no, actually it's that side that's more violent, you're actually wrong. It's both sides, and it is a horrendous thing, because there's a lot of unintelligent, angry, and violent people out there who really make their entire life about that, and it's a tragedy for them and a tragedy for us because we can't interact with y'all because of those people. But with that, we are on to the next one.
Also have a 10 from Play Street Fighter, who said that the highest probability baseline scenario is Russia remaining intact as a centralized state with slow growth, increasing resource dependence, and demographic pressures that reduce long-term dynamicism.
You're actually correct on that, Play Street Fighter. That is one of the more likely ones. Like, a lot of people always say, you know, Russia's going to shatter into a million pieces. That's not going to happen. Because financially it just wouldn't work for whatever regions we want to separate, at least the larger ones like Siberia and whatnot. They're going to remain intact. They're going to have very slow economic growth. They're going to be economically non-existent after this war, probably. And it's going to be a very, very slow rebuild.
Oh, is this the part where I'm supposed to be scared?
You caught her?
That's right. And you really don't want to know me. Shit, it's good to be home.
40 million every single day. There are millions going towards asylum accommodation. That's not every week, that's not every month, that is every day. There's millions going to it. Every week it's tens of millions. Every year it's billions. And they'll tell you, they'll look you in the eye and they'll tell you they don't have money to reduce fuel. Do you know what I think it is? I think with the asylum accommodation, they can funnel money into their own pockets. That's what I think it is. The problem with reducing fuel is they can't do that.
Let me know in the comments and chat if you think it's precisely as he alleges, that what they have are various conduits, like, remember in your country, USAID, there's like, what is this to help people? This is, and we found out the whole thing was a total scam. Whenever they're pretending to help people, COVID, pandemic, various wars, they're actually looking for
a big thanks to your support, and I hope this channel to keep it running, and I hope that does address that incredibly well. And long live the Lee Spring Army, the Lee Spring Army will never die, and I'm always happy to give some people some good laughs. And so with that, we are on to the next one.
We also have a 10 from Myvory, and thank you for that support as well. They said, do you think this war will be done before June? Are you talking about the Iran war, or are you talking about the Ukraine war?
Or are you talking about the war in Sudan? Or are you talking about the war in Yemen? Or are you talking about the war in Lebanon? Or are you talking about the war in Mexico?
Are you talking about the World War? You think the World War, maybe? I think they're asking mainly about the Iran war, I would assume. I don't think it's going to be done by June. I don't think so.
I don't think any of them are going to be done by June. I actually think they're all going past June. So regardless of the war, I think the answer is no. It's going to continue on past June, most likely. So I hope that does address it the best I can. And we are on to the next one.
500.
And we also have a 10 from Eastside Barbell. And thank you for the support as well. They said, Bear Nightmare Night.
Oh yeah, you know, animals actually scare me. Like a lot of people are always gonna be like, oh, they're so cute. I just have read enough about them over the years, like the dangers that some animals pose, like moose. Like some people look at moose and they're like, oh, that's such a majestic animal. I look at them and I see a killing machine. I'm like, that thing is just so dangerous. Like moose are some of the most dangerous animals here in this continent. Actually, let me pull it up.
I see this by law enforcement. The feds basically defrauded the city and county.
Yeah, I'm gonna go camping out there eventually in that Wasatch Wilderness. But you know, I'm good though. I'm not really worried about sleeping at night with the animals because obviously, you know, we have weapons. So I mean, if some animal's really trying to really go for it, I mean, you know, self-defense.
Oh my God! You are not going to believe this.
They'll hoof you.
No, you know what the most dangerous land mammal in North America is, in the numbers of death that it causes per year?
Land mammal?
Yeah, land mammal. Like land mammal.
Which one is it?
Take a wild guess. Just throw a dart at the board and see if you get it right.
Let's see here. Probably like those mountain goats.
White-tailed deer.
How's that a threat? I've seen those things up close. I was like, well, how's that a threat?
A living torpedo to the windshield of cars, basically. They kill 400
Oh,
people.
they're talking about hitting cars?
Yeah, so a white-tailed deer are responsible for over 400 deaths in North America annually and 59,000 injuries every year.
Now, what's the face-to-face risk though? Like I get the deer thing, like hitting the deer with a car, but it's like if you're like face-to-face with a white-tailed deer, I mean you could handle a white-tailed deer. I mean those aren't that dangerous. They could try to hit you, but I mean you could take care of those. But what's the dangerous face-to-face?
Well, that would be the brown bear. But it only causes 2 to 3 fatalities per year, so like non-existent figures. The next dangerous thing is moose, but apparently their death numbers are basically caused by people running into them as well, you know, in collisions and whatnot. So moose are very dangerous.
Which one?
The bears are very dangerous, but white-tailed deer are the most dangerous if you're driving a car. So, you know, look out for them if you're in a car.
But people talking about white-tailed deer or killing machines. Like, no, not face-to-face. No, I don't know what kind of deer y'all are dealing with. We grew up around white-tailed deer everywhere. I mean, they were in our backyard, and they'd be within like 5 or 10 feet back there eating like the stuff off the ground. Like those things. I mean, I guess if you try to provoke it, I guess it could be dangerous. But I mean, I see a lot of people saying that. I mean, I've never had a problem with them personally.
You know, I've never had a problem with them either. As a matter of fact, I got quite close to a lot of them when I was growing up, you know, like within a few feet of them, and they never really were dangerous. I mean, if anything, they would run away, and that was it. I mean, they were never truly dangerous. But, you know, I bet you could run into them with a car. That'd be pretty dangerous. I mean, geez, you know, that's a several hundred-pound object flying through your windshield, so, you know, probably crush your head and kill you, you know, so, you know, watch out for them if you're on the roadway. You know, it's best not to hit them. Maybe that's why everyone, Matthew, these days are getting those Ford F-150s and like the super zooted trucks that are the size of M4 Shermans. So the deer can't go through the windshield because the truck is so high, the thing just goes under the truck.
Could be, possibly.
Maybe. Man, those Carolina squats are saving lives out there, man. They're stopping the deer from going through the windshield. But anyways, with that, we are on to the next one.
And our next one here is going to go to Chris Feilbach. And once again, thank you very much, Chris, for that support yet again. He said, Google just gave me 11 points for my review of the Irish building on stream. He said, I provided a true review, just not about myself.
Huh. I gotta thank you so much for the support, Chris. I gotta say that's very interesting to hear. But a big thanks to you so much for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. And with that, we're on to the next one.
We also have a find from Hednar, who said, if G is Winnie the Pooh, aka G the Pooh, then that makes Kim Juche Gangnam Style guy, and Putin is, I can't read the one about Putin. Putin becomes a fellow, I don't think Putin has a mustache right now, but he might have one. But unfortunately, what say you?
You know, Kim Jong-un is like the weirdest leader of a country because he didn't even really live in North Korea most of his childhood. He actually lived in Switzerland with, I think, some of his distant family relatives. And what's even crazier about that is that his distant family relatives actually defected to the United States and just like abandoned him basically in South Korea. Well, not in South Korea, but in Switzerland, if I remember correctly at some point. Really weird story there, but yeah, he grew up in like a Swiss boarding school or something like that, and then when Kim Jong-il started to kind of get a little bit ill, like his name suggests, they then brought him back from Switzerland immediately and to North Korea, and then they started to groom him to become the next leader of North Korea because they knew that Kim Jong-il probably wouldn't be around that much longer. So
Kind of that's the same with Bashar al-Assad, by the way. That's sort of a similar thing with him.
Yeah, you know, it's really weird how they all live like their own lives. Like they say that one of like Putin's daughter is like, what is it? It's like a DJ mixer or something like that, like Bern or something, I believe, or somewhere else. I don't know, but it's always weird how like these kids of dictators, they always go off and live in like Western countries. It's like for these like leaders to say that they hate the West so much, it's like it's kind of odd that they always send their kids to go have a better life living in the West every single time. Kind of coincidental, don't y'all think?
Yeah, and also I think Khamenei's kids, I think they're in the West over here somewhere. Some of them might be in the United States.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, some of them are. Like, there's actually there's a load of people who are here in the United States, interesting enough, like children of dictators and whatnot. Really just wild when you think about that. But anyways,
they have the Russians down there in the bottom of Florida, like that whatever that family was in Russia, they got put out. They're down there at the bottom, southern end of Florida.
The Romanovs?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, basically all those people got killed. I mean, they got executed. Like a lot of people always claim that they're, like, the descendants of the Romanovs, but the entire Romanov family line, I think, was killed in that basement up near St. Petersburg in, like, 1917.
I'm pretty sure there's, like, a few of them down there in southern Florida.
Let's see, are there any Romanovs left? Oh, that's news to me. Apparently there's only 100 descendants left alive today. But the direct family, okay, so it was the immediate imperial family, they all were executed. That's the ones I was thinking about, because there's always like someone out there, from what I've heard, who's like, I'm Anastasia, and it's like, no, you're not. Anastasia died in that basement. You know, and so that's what I was thinking. But apparently there actually are like extended family in the Romanov dynasty that are still alive, and there's about 100 of them left. And you're saying that they're in Florida?
Yeah, don't ask me how I know that, but I think they're down there somewhere in southern Florida, I think.
In Broward County, where the mountains are made of trash?
Man, I don't know about the exact county or anything like that, but I think they're down there possibly in that area, maybe. You know, St. Petersburg's a place in Russia, and it's a place in Florida, too.
That is actually true. Like, that's kind of weird. That's kind of a little odd. But with that, we are on to the next one.
We also have a 20 from Crispy, and thank you very much, Crispy, for that $20 support. Once again, we do appreciate that. But Enforcer, what say you?
We thank you incredibly for the support, Crispy, and helping this channel to keep on running. Because if it wasn't for folks like you, we wouldn't be able to make this thing possible, and we wouldn't be able to keep it running. So a huge thanks to you so much once again. And we are on to the next one.
We also have a 5 from Brentley. He said, can we use decommissioned ships remotely operated and run it through the minefields in the strait and have air support pop all the anti-shield?
It would be like in their names.
You could, but that might be a bit of waste of material. Maybe we might want to send that up to a scrappers and have it cut up for steel. Usually that's what they do with a lot of those sorts of ships. Probably the best thing to do would just be to militarily clear out anyone who could fire in the street, and then send the minesweepers in, or more so the ships equipped with minesweeping drones, to start the process of clearing the strait out. So big thanks to you for supporting helping this channel to keep it running, and I hope it does the rest of that well. And with that, we're on to the next one.
Growing up, a lot of elderly
We also
people,
have
they
a
would
5 from
go down to Florida for
and
the
they said,
winter,
what's
and
happening
then
in
they
the
had a
Schofield
camp
Barracks,
up
Hawaii?
here in Maine.
The Army
Sometimes
just sent
they
out a
rent it
shelter in
out
place order, but also shut doors and windows
to
and
people
turned off
throughout the winter,
HVAC.
have people stay there.
I wouldn't know, unfortunately.
Or they'll just have
Incidents
someone
like that
going
could come from
up
a myriad of
to
things. Like a
Milwaukee,
lot of people thought something
and
crazy
then
was
they'll come
going on
back for
at,
spring, summer, and fall.
at Peterson Space Force Base in Colorado Springs, and it turns out that it was just some disgruntled Space Force member that threatened that if his AC wasn't fixed, he was going to spend the block on the base, and that sent the whole thing into lockdown, and they had to go grab it away. So, you know, it could be anything.
I think they cleared it. I think there was some little
people
situation
around
going
that
on.
area, like out of Vegas, they'll have like a
I think
place
possibly
in the
a
Vegas
misidentified
area,
air assault rifle or
and then
something.
they'll
I
have a
think,
home
but I'm not totally
usually
sure.
in a
And they had
country
to shut down the
setting.
AC for that. They're like, quick, make everyone
Yeah, like
sweating
Texas,
on out here.
surrounding
Someone's got an air
states.
assault gun. But, you know,
Yeah, because you're
bases
like,
can go
you're
under
within
lockdown for so
like
many
a
things. It's always
40
hard to
to
narrow
an
down
hour
exactly
drive
why
of
until they kind of give the public an idea as to
the
why.
wilderness
But that whole thing,
or Vegas. It's
with
like similar,
Peterson
like
was
different
hilarious,
areas up
folks,
here in
because I kind of got a little
Connecticut.
bit of a breakdown on it a little bit better off air, and I was dying
More
laughing
towards
so
the
hard
city
that it
or
was such a
country
ridiculous
setting,
scenario. Like, it was something that
Yeah,
would
so
be all
people
the
like
comedy
those
movie,
locations
the
that are
absurdity of what happened with that, and they shut the
kinda
whole
like a
base down
central
for it. But anyways,
station
with that,
to-
we're on to the next one.
Those different locations.
And our next one is going to go to Ian Mitson yet again. He said, I got a Welsh Terrier. It's a Welsh dog, but way different looking than a Corgi.
Oh yeah.
Terrier, I've never heard of it. Oh, wait, I have heard of one of those. It's one of these.
No, that's on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, one of those dogs right there have like the long socks.
Man, that
Both on
thing's got
YouTube.
them
The other
legs.
one is
Thick.
Spider-Man.
like it's got them
1943.
thick legs. These things are
I
pretty
know.
cool.
I put those on there.
Those things right there, can you imagine? This dog is perfect for like cleaning. Like you put those paws up on the counter and it's white. Like that thing is perfect for that.
Man, just a little left sweep and then a right sweep and it's done. Like it's perfectly clean. Really nice dog though. I like the dog. It's a really pretty looking little dog. Yeah, nice. I like that. And a big thanks to your support. And it is different looking than the Corgi, but it's very cute in its own way. And with that, we're on to the next one.
We also have a 5 from DWRB. Once again, he said, how many days until the A10 goes bird, bird?
72 hours, probably, I would assume. So big thanks to you for support. We're on to the next one.
We also have a 5 from Waka Waka What, who said, I can see Russia, St. Petersburg from my window. LOL. And thanks for the coverage, guys. Pizza, coffee, and filters fun.
Hey, thank you so much for the pizza, coffee, and the filters. We all need filters. Always need filters. And that's really cool that you see St. Petersburg out your window. You know, the one thing I know about this area is that back in like the 70s, some commercial ship lost propulsion or something like that, and it rammed into the Sunshine Skyway Bridge and collapsed it. If I remember correctly, something else happened here too, where like a Coast Guard cutter got yanked by an anchor on a merchant ship, and it got dragged underwater nearly, and it killed a couple of the Coast Guard sailors on board that cutter. If I remember right, or it was like a what the hell was it? It was like a buoy boat or something like that happened to down here in this bay as well. But those are the key things that I know about this location, or the maritime disasters that happen here in Tampa Bay. Have you ever seen that, Matthew, the Sunshine Skyway Bridge collapse?
No, I've never seen that. I've seen that bridge collapse down near Mobile when that thing collided with it, but I hadn't seen this one down here in Florida.
Let me see if I can pull it up for you. Yeah, there it is. Look at that.
Oh, that's a horror film right there. That's somebody really had the car like right there on the edge like that.
Yeah, right there on the edge. Like, and I think some people were actually driving over the bridge. It was a low traffic because it was the middle of the night. And then the bridge collapsed right under them, and their cars went plunging straight into the water, and basically everybody that happened to drown to death.
All they had to do is, I think all you have to do is simply let the car submerge itself until it equalizes with the pressure, and then you can open the door. Yeah, was that proven by Mythbusters, or was that something that was not true?
I think that was something that was proven true, but I think the equalization of the pressure took so long that you kind of like ran out of oxygen before time or something, or you had to be able to roll down the window with like a hand crank or something like that. Some along those lines. But these folks, man, I don't think they stood a chance because the spans like literally gave way right under them, and they went shooting into the water like torpedoes, basically at that height. It's like a 150-foot fall from the top of the bridge here to the water. So it was quite the trip.
Precisely.
Yeah, that's a horror film right there.
Yeah, let me see. Here's another picture of it.
That's one of the death trap looking bridges.
Yeah, you know, one that wouldn't really be that survivable. But let me see what the actual number of the fatalities were, because I'm sure Wikipedia has an article on this. Somewhere. Yeah, here it is. The number of deaths was...
Pajama suicides in common.
Well,
I know, it was gonna kick out
this
of
is the
that.
collapse of the bridge. So they don't have a video, that's wild. It killed 35 people actually, so it's quite a significant number of people.
That's tough.
Yeah, but you know, kind of similar to that
I don't even
Annapolis
know
Bridge
to
collapse.
think
Well,
about it.
not Annapolis, but Baltimore
You know,
Bridge
why a
collapsed,
lot
the
of
Francis
the,
Scott Key Bridge that was also hit by a ship that
Yeah, a lot of it's
ran
just
its
geared
propulsion
toward
shut down, and then it ran aground
keeping
right
your
on the
mind
pillar of
off
the
of
bridge
those
and took
things,
it
I
down. But
guess.
anyways,
Right, I mean,
with
but
that,
still,
I hope that is a little bit of an interesting side note
Yeah,
of
it's for
history
health
down there near
reasons.
St. Petersburg. And a big thanks to your
It might
support.
make you
With that,
sick,
we're on to
you
the
know.
next one.
We also have a $20
absolutely
support from
horrible.
Bobo Vasquez, and thank you very much, Bobo, for that $20 support. He said, "For Matt, good night," and also thank you, by the way, and also a good night to you, Bobo, and also I thank you very much for that support, and also being a long-time channel legend. But Enforcer, what say you?
Thank you so much for the support, and a good night to you. And with that, we're on to the next one.
We also have a 5 from DWRB, and I already read
Yeah,
that
I
one
think
off, but
that's
huge
the-
shout to you
the
again,
frustrating
DWRB,
part
and he
for
gets
so
2
many
shout-outs.
is when
We also have a 5 from Game Theory. He said, "Sorry to
even
hear you
get
guys
the
face the
ball
crazy
rolling
people.
and understanding
Donation
for
for
that
your
when
AR
so many
fund."
don't
But also,
even
don't
wanna
worry, we're both loaded to the
address
like
the
we're
facts and
very
issues
well
and
armed,
are
to say the
oblivious
least.
to
And also, we know
or in
we're
denial.
trained in how to use those things, so we know how to use them safely.
That's
We know how to
scary.
use them
And
with
so-
respect, and we know how to use them with
Yeah, how are you supposed to
and
even
we are trained on the shooting range. That's what they call it. I'm mixing up two different
Yeah,
voices. I don't know what I'm doing. But
Yeah.
Enforcer, what say you?
Oh yeah, we're armed
Yep.
to the gills. Like we're well armed to the gills. I'm pretty proficient, especially with rifles. I can hit about a 12-inch wide target at 600 yards with an AR-15
Right, and you can't force
consistently.
people
So
to-
you know, pretty decent. I mean, you know, that's not bad. So
Yeah,
I'm pretty
the
decent with
level
them.
of,
And back in the day, back when we were getting the threats from
Perception
the hot
of a
dog
lot of
bin
that
people,
stuff.
which was probably like the most
a
significant
societal
pressure we
level.
ever got on the channel from like a single threat
And when you
campaign.
hear some of their
I mean, that was
justification
almost like, you
and how they
know,
okay
every
it to
other
themselves.
week you'd be like, how in the world do we make our security better, at least as far as we can? So we've taken care of that well in advance a long time ago and had to get smart quick because of all that stuff that happened way back then. But a big thanks to you for support and helping this channel to keep on running. And with that, we're on to the next one.
All right, and our next one here is going to go to Hugh Crumman, and he puts in a £5 donation, and thank you very much for that £5. He said, from the Brits, as you ease me through the night shift at work at 6:15 a.m. And
Oh,
please,
yeah,
we're all
people
behind you
actually
here, and we
do,
want to
take
help, but
advantage of those
a
things,
particular
so
fella is
you
being
know,
a
the
bit of a
ones that
problem.
want to just
LSD.
take it away
And I
from
thank you so
all
much for the
because
support. And we always have a
a few
huge amount of
people
respect
take
for our
advantage.
viewers from the United Kingdom and really all of our allied
But then,
countries. We respect and
in
appreciate all of our
turn,
allied countries
how
here on
many
this
people
channel,
are
and y'all are amazing
taking
folks over there.
advantage of-
And we're happy to help y'all out with y'all's night shift.
Yeah,
over
exactly.
there in the
So
United
it's
Kingdom, many of y'all, including
one
yourself,
evil
are on
for
the night
another.
shift in the UK right now, getting on until the early morning. And I hope wherever you may be
Stronger.
within the United Kingdom that we were able to cross your threshold and tell you the news and let y'all know that y'all are a greater part of this Western sphere, and we greatly respect y'all as allies. And so big thanks to you so much once again. I hope that it addressed that well. And with that,
so.
we're on to the next one.
really hope so.
We also have here a question from DWRB yet again. He said, the lions, the old flag of Iran, and tigers, the tank, and bears.
She's the one in
Oh my.
Time of Our Lives.
That's a pretty good one, actually. I like
Yeah,
that
she
one.
plays
I didn't
the
think they
medium.
support DWRB, and with that, we're on to the next one.
Or the house cleaner.
We also have a 4 from Frank Trujillo. He said, hit the like, LSA Army, and thank you, and Ukraine strong.
And and please do hit the like, folks. We would love to see it. We're always happy to see folks hitting that like button. We greatly appreciate it. And we cannot thank everyone enough. We've gotten up to 5.1 thousand likes tonight. That's a lot of likes. And so humongous thanks to you so much once again for support. I hope that does just that well. And with that, we're on to the next one.
We also have a 2 from Blazov, and thank you very much, Blazov, for that support as well. Excuse me. We do appreciate that support, as always. And also a big shout out to Bob Avell, who put in a 2 as well. And thank you, Bob, also, just like Blazov, for throwing in that $2 support. And we also have a 2 from Investing Max. He said, much love from Canada. Great work, and I love the content.
And a big hello to Canada. I love Canada. Canada's a cool country, you know? When you think of Canada, you think of Mounties, and you think of the great wilderness of British Columbia, and the beautiful Niagara Falls, which is also American as well, and in wonderful cities like Montreal and Quebec and Vancouver and other cities. Great respect for y'all. And I got to thank you so much for the support and helping this channel keep on running. You know, folks, nothing ever beats. I have to say, big shout out to Canada. Nothing ever beats that kind of beauty that you get in the Pacific Northwest, like that of British Columbia.
You mustn't.
A struggle with the unseemly about
Oh, yeah, there's that expensive train.
It's a really good one. But I mean, it's really something out here. Canada is a really neat country. Really like them a whole lot. But a huge thanks to you so much for the support and help this channel to keep on running. And with that, we are on to the next one.
We also have a 2 from Ulf Hednar, and the joke was so good, HR wanted to hear it, and I can't sadly read it off. But we do appreciate $2 support, and thank you very much for that. We also have 1 from Octo, and thank you, Octo, as well for that 1, and we do appreciate that very, very much as well. And with that, folks, believe it or not, that is actually our last super chat to address. So we have time to get do some live chat questions proper. So once again, a huge shout out to everybody for that super chat support. But jumping right into our Morse code decoders, we have Paul, Kevin, Mason, Joni, Norm, Arabelle, our Royal Fluffness, Kush, Kobe Tarek, Siren, Brian. They said the Morse says, damn, that straight thingy isn't opening still. Or 5D chess, anyone? LLT, LSA.
And it has not been long enough in force.
And that's the sound of money. You'll get the dead on the nail. That was the jackpot of the night. More 5D chess, anyone? Of course. We have to have more 5D chess. It's working so well. Who in the world would ever want it to stop? Thanks to you.
Also 5D chessboard. Pull it up real quick. You know that one that Spock was playing in Star Trek? The actual 5D chessboard. Like, let me see a picture of that thing. I'm talking about the original series. 5D chessboard that Spock was playing.
So there's a game actually called 5D chess, but what he was playing was 4D chess, which is like these weird things right here.
Yeah, so a bunch of that. I want to see a picture of Spock playing the chess right here. Let's see here. Spock 4D chess.
Yeah, this is Scooby.
There he is. There it is right there. Look at him right there. That's why I think of 4D chess. I think about this right here. That's why I think.
How the hell would you even play this stupid game? Like, is it like just a chessboard on different levels? Or is it like, what's the 4D about it, you know?
It's more like really 4 tiers of chess instead of 4 dimensions.
Man, isn't that stupid kid from that one episode where you just look at people weird and like they blow up or something?
And I want him to go away!
Yeah, that guy! It's him! It's him!
Where'd they go, Charlie? Where'd you put them? They were mean. I made them go away.
You know, when you look at these episodes, you can hear that Captain. It's not logical. When I look at this one, oh boy, power!
Man, I'll tell you that the Spock actor, he wasn't quite in the role like in the first few episodes. Like he was putting way too much of an emphasis on making it sound like he was shouting out orders from like a naval vessel or something. And then he kind of like actually went into it. The original Spock in those first episodes was anything but non-emotional. That dude was yelling and screaming and acting nutty.
Man, honestly, man, he was acting like he was like a damn first officer on a sailing ship. Like he was having to yell down the deck, "Run up the guns!" It's like, dude, it's a starship, dude. It's not a sailing ship. You don't have to do that.
do not like.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Those pilots were rough. Like, rough. I'll tell you, folks. I think the one Star Trek that has aged the best is probably the Next Generation. Don't you agree, Matthew? Like with the props, the set design, like the episodes. Like, it hasn't really aged a whole lot, it seems.
Yeah, I think so. Those new Star Treks that have come out are just garbage. Like the new ones that have come out, like they've tried to overproduce the hell out of them. It's like if you have crap storylines and crap, like narration and stuff going on, it's like they're not going to be any good. Doesn't matter how much graphics you put into it.
Yeah, like I think nowadays, man, it's such a tragedy, really, folks, in most of the movie industry, because they put like set design and costume design and all of that sort of stuff, like the eye candy stuff, ahead of the script writing. And it's like if you have bad writing, no amount of good props and good costumes and nice visual effects is going to cover up the fact the story's not good. And that's really a problem with a lot of modern media, is that there's just not any good writing that goes into it. And it's not political at all, folks. It's just that, like, even if it's not political, sometimes the writing just sucks. And it's like, they need to have good fleshed out stuff. Like Squid Game.
Star Trek's always been political. Like, even from the original series, it was political. Like, that show did a lot of stuff, like, during the original series that at the time was considered a huge no-no for TV shows. Like, it did a lot of stuff that was considered on the edge at that time.
Yeah, like one thing that was interesting, folks, because a lot of people look back at Star Trek and go, they weren't political back then. Was like, the first generation, the first generation Star Trek was actually the first television show in America that had an interracial kiss, which was basically just not done. It was literally never done until they did it. And there was a whole bunch of other things that they did as well that was really pushing the envelope for, I guess you could say, what was socially acceptable for television back then. They had an interracial cast, and they had a whole bunch of episodes that would explore back then what would be kind of like pushing the boundary politically back then. Really interesting. But a lot of people look at it nowadays because a lot of that stuff has been settled and done, and it's in the past, and they look at it as not really political because, I mean, that's totally fine and whatnot. But back then it was really, pushing the envelope in a way. But anyways, with that, I hope that does address that the best I can. And actually, also, we have a couple more super chats here. So what do we got, Matthew?
And our next one goes to Gregory, who puts in a 10. He said, good show, men, from Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Hey, and a big shout out to Gatlinburg. Really, really neat place. And a big thanks to you for the support and help this channel to keep it running. And with that, we're on to the next one.
We also have a 2 from Game Theory, who said gas in Los Angeles is $6.27.
Shoot! God, man, that's expensive. I can't afford to live in California, sadly. California is a naturally beautiful state. I love California for that. It's just so expensive, though, it's almost impossible to live there, sadly. But a big thanks to you for the support and helping this channel to keep it running. And with that, we're on to the next one.
And we also have a 20 Australian from Ross Nibb, and thank you very much, Ross, for that 20 Australian, and we do appreciate that. He said, better late than never, and sorry to hear about your troubles with the hot dog people. By the way, what is the background of that situation, or is it domestic politics? I've only heard the pillow guy, not the hot dog.
So, to kind of like surmise that in a very short way, it was just basically like this bad seed person who is basically the best way to describe them as a character. They're an absolute loser, and the only way that they get ahead on YouTube is creating beef with other people and basically putting their lives in jeopardy in doing so to try and get a little bit of extra popularity, so that way they can run through those people in about 2 weeks and have to do it all over again just to try and stay slightly relevant to get a few thousand views. And they picked us as their target, and for about a year and a half, they had their entire community threatening to kill us, threatening to come do stuff to us, calling up our schools wherever we were, in college or law school, saying stuff to try and get us swatted in the middle of class, all that sort of stuff. It had nothing to do with domestic politics. And much like nowadays, because this is nothing new, nowadays people want to come in here and threaten us and stuff and say nasty stuff to us and say that we hate Trump and all that. Back then, with that guy, it was actually the opposite, because the Democrat was the president, we would criticize them. So clearly, according to them, we were hard-right MAGA Nazis, because we would just criticize foreign policy actions that Biden made, be like, that doesn't really seem like it's doing that well. And so people would make threats to us in that vein, in the same way they do nowadays, because they say that we're TDS Trump hater people, and all that because we criticize everyone equally and we don't hold punches. So that's basically the run of the story. But with that, a big thanks to your support and helping the channel to keep it running, Rosnip. And it also appears that, according to Matthew, we have a new qualification of news. Possible news. Matthew, what do we have that is Schrodinger's news right now?
Okay, so the reason I'm saying possible news is because typically speaking, we don't generally monitor a broadcast, between the military. Most of it's encrypted, but we are seeing something that could be unusual possibly, and the only reason I'm actually entertaining this idea is because OSINT Defender apparently finds it to be unusual, and generally OSINT Defender is usually on point with pretty much everything, so I'm willing to give this one a look, but here's why I'm skeptical though. A lot of these prepper channels out there, which are like loony people and stuff like that, they'll make these titles and they'll say stuff like, "Oh, the nuclear bombers are flying," and they'll play like a broadcast or something like this. But I will say, OSINT Defender's not a loony. He's usually pretty on point. So it looks like, according to the claim here, there's apparently unusual messages that are being broadcast by the E-6B Doomsday planes, and there appears to be a video to back that up as well, where you hear unusual broadcasts going out. So not totally sure how to interpret this. I don't really truly know what to interpret these messages as, but I guess the best way to put it is it's something to watch, but if you want to listen to it, you can, if you can make anything out of it.
Let's take a listen.
When ended, this is doorbell, click. Message of Rome group solid. Uniform, Kilo, Oscar, Yankee, India, Alpha, Victor, Juliet, Lima, India, Delta, Charlie,
Hannah Pingree.
November,
Bold plans to lower costs, and the backbone to stand up to Trump.
Tango, India,
We really need a new power supply.
Check this out. Golf, India, Bravo,
That's fine. Cash out to send these random
Victor, Bravo,
Metaphor.
Suspect is on the run. They're saying it's a female. Supposedly 6 people shot.
Tango, Golf,
Sacramento, California.
What is it? California, Sacramento.
Next time he comes around, I'll let him know.
Honestly,
Live police.
Transported at our request, and we already met with them, but I will confirm.
Police on the scene. Police on the scene. Sacramento, California. What's going on, man? It's wild.
Hang on, not confirmed.
I'm trying to hear the foot bail.
Home Depot. Home Depot.
That sounded sick.
This screen was removed from the mouth of the ventilator.
This is in Sacramento, California, in the Ogden area.
Hey, Cole.
Multiple victims from shooting.
Not the.
Eastland
I'm not talking to you.
245 in District 7. Call saying that after meeting the 7-Eleven employee, he started breaking the windows of the caller's vehicle.
This happened a
Male in his
little,
30s
I
in a
think
uniform.
the call came in a little after 8 o'clock.
Currently in the back of the 7-Eleven and a medical.
South Africa, man.
5 victims for sure
five, they're saying?
that were transferred to the hospital. There was reports of a 6th victim, but by the time they got to her, she had left the scene.
Oh, damn, dipped out. That's weird.
There's a world full of adventure out there.
I'm finding some articles, or 2 articles I found on this situation.
We know confirmed that there was a female suspect, but by witness statement there was possibly 2 other suspects and also a different vehicle that were shooting.
Step 2, that's it. There is no step 2. Enjoy.
7-Eleven employees behind the 7-Eleven now.
Gotta mute this. I'm trying to see what other information I can find on this.
Yeah, Sacramento actually has crazy lately. I'd almost assume Home Depot would be. That they would not be letting people shop anymore.
I'm trying to see what's going on with the foot bail. Oh, but look.
What's up? What's up? What's up? How you guys doing?
They're stating for a woman advising she has a leg injury, says that someone else named Amy is torturing her.
Amy?
Good morning. That could have been Jessica. You never know, and maybe people just were bystanders, but a lot of victims, though.
A lot of people shot. What could this have been over? Home Depot?
Multiple victims from a shooting occurrence that happened in Sacramento, California. It happened at the Howe Avenue Home Depot parking lot. Is where it started.
Negative 70.
Yeah, with one
Thank you, Emily.
Excellent.
Morning.
It's morning by you? Oh, I guess it's 12:30. Well, yeah, I guess it is. Technically morning.
For that, the missing person report for roommate. Looks like this hasn't been put in as a room report, but it might be. Or there's multiple roommates in there.
Mass shooting in Chicago yesterday. Really?
Sorry, guys, I was moving cars.
I didn't hear about the Chicago thing.
So multiple fire.
Oh, they're letting people through now?
Check. Maybe go, you have to be able to see why, but I'll double check.
So it was a reported shooting that occurred in Sacramento, California here. It started at the Home Depot parking lot on Howe Avenue. 5 victims were transported to the hospital. 6 victims, by the time they got to her, she left the scene.
Maybe it was illegal. Sometimes if somebody's illegal, they don't want to talk to the cops. They'll leave, you know. Thank you, Millies.
Thank you for the follows.
Trying to see. I don't know if we'll find some on the ground feed besides TikTok. I'm looking at
19. Stop what?
Extraordinary. Mr. Holmes, where did you find this creature? You recognize it? The deadliest insect known to science.
They did talk about K-9 officers as we were driving up here, but I don't know if they're using them right now. But the primary, one of the first reported suspects, they did find out, based off the video footage, that it was a female suspect. And that suspect was the one that was in the dark-colored Kia. They did find the Kia in a different area from here, and they said that foot bail because the vehicle was empty.
Yeah, there's a lot of cops out there. Howie Park in Sacramento.
No, we haven't heard of that.
It's the Arden area. It was the Howe Avenue Home Depot that it started at.
And there were a lot of shots fired. But they're saying it was a female. I had heard something about a Kia vehicle. Kia boys, Kia girls. They have not caught the suspect. The suspect is on the loose apparently. Crazy. I don't know if anybody's deceased. Just heard 5 to 6 people shot.
Welcome back in. New details tonight in the Next Star Tegna murder.
We didn't get confirmation of where the vehicle was.
I did have
Sacramento, California.
Citizens link, but it was being really weird. It kept changing. I was clicking it. It'd say one thing before I clicked it, and then I clicked it. It would change the titles.
Underwear on with black the last inch. Well, you guys had pink and blue underwear on.
What? Yeah, I'm not sure if it did start at the Howe Park, but we know that one of the scenes of the shootings was definitely the Home Depot parking lot, and they found multiple shell casings there.
Oh, I think they're letting Home Depot people out.
Well, 3 units. Lance is heading there. Out into the parking lot just to check for another potential scene.
Hey, what's up? From Sweden.
Shots from that location.
No live on citizen.
As of now, found no reports that they got the suspect.
Oh my god.
There's a lady outside to see you, Mr. Rhodes, a Miss Petty.
That's pretty wild.
I know.
That's pretty wild, man. I hope you guys are having a good weekend. I've been chilling today. I was doing some errands, and then I came back, and I was just kind of. There was a bomb threat earlier today. The plane was redirected. I think it landed in Pittsburgh.
I was so relieved.
Everything was cleared out, and nothing came of it. And then there was a shooting in Vegas. It was initially said like active shooter or whatever. They thought somebody was just shooting at people. Apparently, I think that person hit one person, and then like they barricaded themselves for a little while. And then I wasn't even home when that was happening. And then the person was taken into custody.
I'm sure you'll give an exceptional.
And that was it. I think that was it. I mean, I've heard of a couple of shootings today. This is the latest thing now. I was actually laying in bed because I have to be up early, but I was like, you know what, let me jump on because we haven't been on today. And this seemed pretty serious. And I've been watching the online political drama too and stuff like that, but who knows, man, what this is about. They're saying suspect female, parking lot of Home Depot. I mean, I guess you can get it anywhere. Over there, what time is it over there in Cali? 3-hour difference. 11:30, 10:39. It's still early.
Thank you for sharing the live. That always helps.
Oh, Wolverine is live?
That's much appreciated.
He's over there? He's not over. Is he?
We appreciate you being on live.
Very nice comment.
Mr. Holmes, my business is of utmost privacy.
No, this is a shooting at Howe Avenue at the Home Depot, and there are 6 victims.
Oh, when the crab gift came through, just because the way the video is, the crab ended up in the tree. That's what Amy was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for the heart, me. Appreciate that, Nana.
I've tried to get in touch with him at his rooms, but he's not there. And he seems to have left no word.
So far,
Rajni Singh.
they're on a foot bail with the suspect. Not sure 100%. I've been trying to listen. Ooh, thank you for all the roses.
One confirmed suspect is definitely was a female suspect that was doing the shooting.
And now they're saying there's
he's live out
silver
there.
Chevy that may have 2 people in it that are suspects.
Yeah, I guess he's at the same scene. I didn't know this guy was in Sacramento. Is he? That's where he's at? Looks like it. Let me pull up another feed so I can show you guys.
Units at both ends on Howe and...
Yeah, Howe, yeah.
Oh, there's a tape line right here. I might be able to just walk right up to this tape line. There's a tape line up here, guys. We might be able to get up to the tape line.
His insurance policy to get a loan. The minute I found he was missing, I went to the loan shark and redeemed the policy.
I feel like this is probably on some, like, gotta be ridiculous, I don't know, possibly gang or something.
If you could find Rajni Singh,
I think I should launch
you might
Rumble.
return his policy to him with the compliments of a friend. Of course, you're going to be paid for your trouble.
I have every confidence, Miss Fetting, that you're not one.
Can't tell me I can't walk up to the tape line, right? And you see multiple units inside the Home Depot as well. Cottage Avenue is all the way blocked, all the way down.
Larry, where'd it go?
This intersection is currently open, which I am surprised, but they have units on all the corners.
He seems possessed to catch flies. Now put on your shoes and socks. Auntie will give you a nice sweet.
Thank you for the confetti. Appreciate that, Blue Shark.
Drive him shamefully. This will be the 3rd today, would you believe it? American candy. Hard to get.
Again, multiple units. All corners. Cottage Avenue is blocked from Howe all the way down to Bell. You're not going to be able to get on Cottage Avenue. The incident occurred apparently inside this Home Depot parking lot. Nah, this is not North Sac. This is not South Sac. This is more East, maybe East Sac. It's in the Fulton and Arden area.
trophy of the chase.
Multiple people struck. 5 people have been shot on this scene, at least. All transported to hospitals. Has not been confirmed. Does not sound like there were any unalivings on this scene. Thank you for the heart meets, guys. Yeah, get your daily heart meets in if you can, guys. Tap that screen, like the live. I do appreciate it. What's up, Zoe? They have video footage. They've been looking at video footage at the Home Depot. Looks like they are moving some vehicles here. We even have Elk Grove out here. So the Sac Sheriff, Elk Grove, Sac PD was out here. Very large scene, guys. Very large scene. Good morning, Loza. Good morning, good morning. Here we have them taking off down that way. Not quite sure where they're going, keeping their lights on. They're going to something down there. They flipped on their sirens. So they're heading to something.
Crazy.
Walk along the tape line here. Thank you for the army. Get your daily heart music in, guys. Get them daily heart music in. Tap that screen for me. If anybody wants to chip in on the live goal or donate on the live goal.
Pretty crazy. So if you're just joining, there was a situation in Sacramento, California, by a place named Howie Park, and the parking lot of Home Depot. They're saying 5 to 6 people shot. I mean, this is just an everyday occurrence now. It's like you almost become numb to it. And I'm sure for the people there, you don't really know when you're actually there, but it's just, for what? At a Home Depot, why are you blasting off on people? 6 people? Because even if this was like a personal thing, I mean, maybe it was a gang meetup or something. Maybe the gang had some like recreational, let's shop for lumber garden or something. I don't know. Something went wrong. How does this happen? We never get the after story, you know, it's just, I don't know. Maybe somebody was cheating. Decided to blast everybody. I was watching a show, and this chick, I guess she discovered that like her dude was like into another chick. And like they were having a conversation, and he admitted it. He admitted it, you know what I'm saying? Well, he's just like, you know, he said, he's definitely into her, but he just said, you know, yeah, I'm attracted to her, but I'm not into her, you know? And she like, well, thank you. Like, she went robotic. She was like, thank you for sharing, and I want to be your safe space, so I appreciate you. And then all of a sudden, this chick snaps and jumps out of the car, like tosses herself out of the car. He's like, what the hell? And she's just like, run. She falls on the floor, starts running. And then gets into the woods and starts running through the woods, and she's like talking to herself, I'm okay, I'm fine. I'm just processing and decompressing or something. And then like she like stumbles and falls down this ditch, rolling down, almost kills herself in the whole process, lands in the water, they go to the hospital. I was like, damn. I mean, I don't know how I got from there to there, but I'm just kind of thinking like possibilities of somebody just losing it. But I don't think this was that deep. Most of the time, I think this is like some dumb shit, probably personal gang. Somebody stepped on somebody's shoe. You looked at me the wrong way. You took the last product off the shelf, and I wanted that product. Something dumb.
Yeah, they do a lot of cases like
people
that.
confronting them, and then just started
fucking with people. Again, it's all playing by ear what the person's going to believe. or go for or want to stand up for. Like, so some
on a
people
lose
have
right
that
across the
kind of
street
stuff and
on the
actually
run. Did you
believe
hear it?
different things.
I imagine you might have heard
remember back, this
might
one
have
was
heard it
over
as
10
happening.
years
What's
ago,
up, Craig?
they
Thank you
had
for the
some
heart meet.
bouts of that kind of stuff, and people thinking they were transforming.
Oh, so maybe.
Not heard as a lady
Right.
suspect. No, I've not heard
Yeah,
anything
so
about
that's
the
connection
last
with that
description
and
of a
some of the
possible
other
suspect was
concerns.
somebody in black
When
with
you
a white
start-
beanie.
I mean, there's a comical level.
No,
you can kinda make
known
fun of.
motive at the moment. Thank you,
No
Hester.
motive.
No
Those
known motive
things.
at the moment for why this occurred. Again, it's very active.
Yeah,
We're not
no,
going to know a motive
no,
or
trust me, I
a
know
lot of
some
real,
it can
real
be humorous.
hardcore details until they do their investigation.
Oh, what's that?
Yeah.
I start running. Duck.
Right, and then so then you get people that
And I'll
like
try
get
to wipe
caught
the
up
lens. I will try and see
with
if that
more
helps.
religious stuff.
Sometimes, guys, the
Yeah, it all
flashing
depends
lights
on
will cause the lens to be a
the
little blurry.
individual,
Maybe that helps a little bit.
their belief system.
It does.
Yeah, environment, communication,
Hey Kim,
other
welcome in.
medications often.
That looks as though it was a car running over a possible plastic bag. I looked over there. I was
Yeah,
over
so
here.
you get
I think
lot
there
of
was a
those
plastic
cases,
bag
and
in the street,
yeah,
and a
we
car
have
ran it over and caused that
investigators of
little
different
popping
people in some
sound.
of our classes.
What's up,
that
Connie? I'm doing well. How are you?
focus solely on those ones.
Oh, yeah. I know somebody in Sacramento.
I'm at the tape line.
Cases, I mean, you
I'm
have
as close as I can get on the other side of
you
Home
know, in the
Depot.
line of fire.
Welcome in. Appreciate the follows, guys. Appreciate the
Oh,
taps.
yeah,
Yeah.
literally, you know, and then
I
when
mean, this feed had the scanner, or I could just pull up the raw feed. We do that.
yeah, exactly. Weapon capability.
Yeah, I could just pull up the raw feed. Scanner. Let's listen to that. Because I was listening to it before I went live, and at first it was just silent, and then they started talking. But I don't know, it got quiet again.
Yeah, so when you think about that
like it's
stuff
just
and the
quiet.
level, you know, of
I'll
fuckery
leave
with
it
those
playing.
things, and the concern we have for a lot of these children
Yo, I had people looking for me today too, because
that
couple
oftentimes
people
don't
commented,
survive, you know,
"Going
and
live?
if they
You gonna
do,
cover this, man?"
right, it's,
Go live.
yeah, if they're even aware of the level of abuse happening with a lot of these children involved in some of those.
The big fellas, you know. Quite so. These glass cages get all steamy.
Yeah, I mean, just when you look at the ones that you are aware of that do get caught, so to speak, or that are being watched, that you can't do anything about. You can't even put words to the horrific abuse these kids are going through. And when you have the level of ignorance in those communities that's been going on and fraud, yeah, you just get so sick and frustrated. Yeah, thank goodness for, you know, the classes and all that stuff to help keep, you know, people from not getting too sad, depressed, angry, snapping, yeah, different levels. But just like laughter or anything else, you know, people snap for different reasons. Sometimes, you know, it's like, oh, I don't understand someone snapping in that. And other times you're just like, yeah, wow, that's totally, you know, that's just sad. That would have just been a speeding ticket. What the hell were they thinking? Right, those kind of things.
Q91. If you guys have a unit there that can do an inventory search, try not to disturb evidence.
Yeah, so we start getting that level of devices and chemicals involved, yeah. It's been quite a show, huh? And then the lack of discussion and awareness and education throughout mainstream.
No, by the way, completely
And the
unrelated.
involvement with some of them, with those investigations, how they try to say, yeah, they're just doing important investigations, or for the safety of others, or their own security, or they're getting death threats, and they try to justify their sick fucking bullshit
It's like non-stop,
with whatever
like, back
reasons.
to back, just crazy shit.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to like follow it and pay attention. I watched the first
Yeah, I could
season.
really care. You know, that's the thing. That's why I say we could really care less, and that's to get people to understand. So many are all caught up in their own whatever bullshit, security and justification and personal whatever. We're just trying to help these hostages and children in the hands of sick murderers, pedophiles. All's fair.
In the car.
Yeah.
With me for a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess security showed up in the parking lot with the car.
Yeah, well, as you can see, it's not just about helping the children. Because, I mean, we could easily do a few
Chris, we
things
are
to
from North Highlands,
take
California.
people out of their
Oh,
misery.
really? Okay.
Or do what a lot of people say they would do.
There was
It's not that
something in
hard.
Laguna Beach.
Yeah, we could do that.
Also, I was almost.
Yeah,
gonna
it's
jump on
harder to try to keep your cool and live in the muck.
Apparently, somebody had
I
found
think
something.
so. I think that's you start to have an understanding as to why some people take themselves out.
There was a response. There was no life.
And that's fucking sad. That's so fucking sad. And then the fact that people continue to ignore the abuse and what's happening in some of these situations and communities. We're talking about very specific abuse cases with named abusers and children being held hostage and abused for years. And how these fucking psychotic pieces of shit around here try to justify it with their little investigations and concerns with the non-vaxxers that are going to kill other people and bring back measles is fucking ridiculous. And you fucking know it, and I know it, and they know it in their heart of hearts. But they're going to turn their head to it because they're in a high-speed chase, and they don't fucking care who they run over. They really don't care. And we have idiots passing them water. You know, see how we cycle through this every once in a while? I know. And they're just jealous. Bring on the cougars. Right? Sex in the City again? No. Hands are forever unclean. Yeah, right. Yeah, so we're concerned about bringing light to those things and exposing the networks and how these things work, the system of a down, you know? So yeah, if you don't understand that, that's okay. And if you do, I mean, you can help by speaking out about the concerns we've been talking about with vaccines, the overprescribing of SSRIs, these abuse cases with children that are being fucked and tortured by punks. Yeah, I mean, they get away with killing the retards and the cartel family people and the dangerous. They're dangerous criminals, so it's okay. I know. Keep telling yourselves that, sweethearts. This has gone on for years and people know it. We're not trying to stop those operations from happening. We depend on them as a society. They take out the bad guys, right? Right, so when we have psychotic pieces of shit, drive, baby, drive! Fucking using it to take out people kicking a fucking dog and protecting their drugs. And fucking dogs over human beings and children being fucked by these punks. That's where we have a problem. Do you understand? All right. Much love, health, and peace to you. You're welcome. We're going to make a coffee. Roll a fatty, as they say. Yeah!